Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a little bit of an interesting topic going on over here where we're going to be covering up some intriguing stuff when it comes to PlayStation 5 and also Xbox Series X scalpers, where it does kind of seem like them at any point are trying their best to go and just keep this basically restock train and scalping train to turn and make extra money on the third-party websites and third-party sales going as long as they possibly can. So we're going to go talk about some stuff, talk about some intriguing things, talk about new sales apparently going on, and all that stuff all floating around. So hopefully you guys are gonna maybe not hopefully enjoy this per se, but enjoy the information we're gonna go and share. And as well, this actually might be the last major maybe next few months or so hump to get over before we're fully able to go and buy and get our consoles physically in the stores themselves, which I can't wait to go be a part of, because I can't wait to go take a day off and hopefully make a few slightly better videos too as well. So a lot of stuff to go talk about, a lot of things to go talk about, and if you guys want to go talk about them down below in the comment section, feel free to as well. If you guys want to go, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, digital console, and controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below. Sign up for that Weeble, deposit $100. You guys go get a bunch of free stock and that free money. Essentially sell, withdraw, all that good stuff, and same with that Coinbase. And let's go and dive in the video itself. So as I mentioned, it does kind of seem at this point, and it kind of makes sense, that a lot of these basically really big, third-party sellers or basically scalpers, for a lack of a better term, are really trying their best to go and maintain this kind of big, sale as long as they can. A lot of people made a lot of money on PlayStation 5s and Xboxes just throughout the past year and a half or so, and it does kind of seem like they're trying to keep this gravy train rolling as fast as possible. So kind of a little bit of a double whammy over this. So we're going to go and show up over here first and foremost. There's a little bit of stuff on StockX, which they actually do kind of seem like they're trying their best to go and make as much money as they possibly can for sellers' fees. Now, this actually could maybe be even kind of a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you want to go take it. It actually might be good because it might incentivize a lot more folks to move their consoles and move their market, which actually might also incentivize a dump in the actual market prices, which actually might be overall kind of good. Don't get me wrong, and I also know places like StockX also do other things, such as using shoes, other types of electronics. So it's not only fully this too, but it's intriguing to go and see this in particular. So let's keep this in mind. So as you guys can maybe go and see over here from StockX, and I was talking to Cam about this too as well, and he kind of brought it up, where we, as of right now on the official website, 25% off of all the electronic seller fees. More money for every sale over $700. Now let me talk about this a little bit over here, because as you guys can see up on the StockX website, this is more so only good for the sellers. So it does kind of seem like they're either trying their best to go and get the market just dumped as low as possible for it to bounce back, or as well they're trying their best to go make pretty much everything they can in this very last sale. That they maybe realize that a lot of these places are trying to go and dump the stock and get rid of the stock, so they're trying their best to make as much money as they can. And the third part might also just go and be that they're just trying to maintain up these kind of prices, because they want to try to keep, and this is kind of the big thing, is they want to try to go push these prices above the $700 mark the best they can. So it's quite a few different things to go talk about over here. I think the big and first and foremost thing, they want, I think, to almost inflate the prices a little bit. Now, I might be reaching on this a little bit, but it kind of makes sense. So basically, for every electronic sold at over $700 or more, will automatically receive a 25% off their fees upon completing the sale. The best part, we're offering this discount on fees from now until the next week or so. That's an entire week at 20% lower fees for every electronic sale. Remember, your sale must be confirmed or ask accepted before then too as well. Now, I'm not super sure. I've never usually ever used too many type of things like StockX or whatever, but I do believe at the very tail end, if it includes all the prices, you guys can leave a comment down below if I'm wrong, but it's kind of intriguing either nonetheless to go and see this, because not many other electronics besides, say, the PlayStation 5 are actually over that $700 price. If you guys say, look at the PlayStation 5, it actually, I do believe, hits over the $700 price point as of right now, if you also factor in the shipping and the fees. So that would actually be really nice to incentivize these sellers to go and then sell at a higher price to basically make sure to maintain the over $700, because then they also go and lose a lot of money. If basically they lose in the good way, the price goes down because they had a 25% fee. So that kind of almost seems like, at least in my mind, if you guys are catching what I'm saying, they want to incentivize and kind of keep that price at least at that $700 price point, to kind of maybe bump up the price just a little bit more, because they want to keep on making money in the long term. And right now we're in we could probably maybe see this, we'll maybe be in a little bit of a gaming drought. when it comes to consoles. We had a really big stock when it comes to like Cyber Monday, Christmas, Black Friday, and it does kind of seem like these third-party sellers and even a website like StockX are trying their best to maintain the price the best they can. And we actually almost kind of see that too as well, because we actually have a little baby bit of a bump up. Now, that's not crazy. I mean, we kind of had a really big drop off, so it makes sense. So we'll have a little bit more of a bounce back. But I kind of feel like these third-party sellers, or even maybe like eBay's or Facebook's, maybe not so much for them, but just the people selling on those, want to try to go maintain this price as long as they can. Because if you can make easy money, you want to keep it going as long as you possibly can. If you're a big website like StockX, they've done 120,000 sales. So let's just go and say the average price. Let's go and say it's $50. It's actually quite a bit more, I believe, from everyone's telling me. I think it's more around the $70 mark. But if you go and times that by the fees alone, they just made $6 million off the StockX website itself, off of just selling PlayStation 5. So for them as well, they want this price to stay up. They want people to go be like, yeah, we'll give you good fees if you get at least $700, which would probably go and incentivize a lot more folks to go and inch up their prices the best they can. Now, I might just be sounding crazy, but I feel like we've seen this stuff a lot for other different types of various retailers, and especially kind of is very convenient to go and know that it's specifically only for electronics. And now there is a few other little things too as well. You can kind of see other stuff, but even just looking on this main page over here for all the electronics, the main things that are listed the most are obviously the Xbox Series X's, which also, by the way, might bump up a little bit with the ask price. You guys can even see this. If you guys look at the normal Xbox price, you guys can see even all these prices are lower. That's kind of like what I'm trying to make a point out over here. If you guys see all these price points, but then you look on this, they're trying their best to bump up the price so they can go and get all these seller prices. Same thing too as well. You guys see all this stuff? And this is exactly what I'm trying to go and say. Lowest ask price, $700, $700, $700. And over $700 or $757 because they want to make sure they get those fees. And that's kind of a big deal. Like if you go and save an extra $30, $40 off a fee, that's a lot. Like it definitely adds up a lot, especially if you have multiple, like hundreds, if not thousands of sales. And a lot of folks have kind of had their attention on StockX as of recently because like you can kind of see stuff like this Xbox, which once again also a little bit of a bounce back too as well on the prices, which would make sense in general. So it does kind of seem like these big places are trying their best to go and utilize and get as much extra money and kind of prop up the price the best they can. Now, I don't want to say they're getting super, super desperate because a place like StockX will be selling out other stuff. Like they'll sell shoes, they'll sell like other like clothing, whatever you want to. They have a bunch of random stuff. It's just a third party seller. We just know it. But it's always intriguing to go look at the website because it's intriguing to go and see because this is kind of like a good front runner where a lot of folks will look at this for prices, for legitimacy, and etc. And it also kind of does obviously affect places like the Facebook marketplaces and everything else too. I think eBay, I think other third-party sellers. So it's very intriguing to kind of go and see how desperate they are to kind of keep on maintaining up this price if everything I'm saying seems right. Which if you guys look at this, I think this is probably the best telltale sign of exactly what I mean. Because if the sellers themselves, if every seller is like, hey, I can save some money, let's go and set the price at $700 just so we can save the fees, etc., then guess what? They can go and do that and, well, save and also make extra money. And if everyone else is doing the same exact thing, it kind of almost bounces the market up a little bit more too as well. And this might be a little bit more of an intriguing thing to be on the lookout for, as I'm sure a lot of these actual consoles are probably going to be a little bit more on the drier side. As I mentioned, we had a lot of big restocks this past few weeks, and if anything from last January and February, it was just a little tiny bit quieter. There still was restocks, we're still waiting for a lot more bigger retailers to go and restock, etc., but I think it's very intriguing to go and know because we had a huge holiday dump of consoles. And now we're kind of seeing like now what next? Like, does it go back up? Does it go back down? And that's why I think kind of doing these types of big seller fees to incentivize sellers to price it higher does kind of try their best to like pimp out this market the best they can. And you can even go look at things, even say like the Xbox. Although this Xbox price has dropped down a lot more, if you guys do the same type of calculation for all this type of stuff over here, which I got my calculator over here too as well for you guys. So as you guys look at this, you have this $600 topped or $6 million over here. But if you do the same thing for 6 to whatever this is, and let's just say the same thing for 50, that usually is higher though, by the way, from everything we've seen. So that's all the stuff StockX would be making. This is $2.4 million, which is insane. Like, that is crazy, crazy, crazy to go and note and crazy to go and see. So just off the consoles alone, StockX made something like $10 million. Granted, there's a few sales, throw it on in. Granted, they have like fees. Granted, they have to pay employees, etc., etc. But this is also in StockX's incentive because they're probably doing a lot of sales almost still every day, and they're going to keep on getting sales as time goes on, especially for these scalper prices. So it does seem like these places are trying to go and kind of somewhat inflate the prices. It does kind of seem like that too as well. We've also seen a few other folks kind of talk about that, which we may go and bring up the next few days, because we're also seeing, I think, maybe a lot more dump groups and also basically just big seller groups also trying their best to inflate the prices the best they can. So I'm going to kind of try to keep my best and keep you guys in the loop as we see more information, but it does kind of seem like a lot of these places are trying their best to go and make this last as long as they can. And let alone just the big websites that are making all the fees and make their money off the fees, but also the normal sellers trying their best to keep that restock train growing as long as they possibly can. So always, I think probably the best advice for all this stuff is don't buy from scalpers, buy retail. Hopefully have more retail restocks in the near future. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place. So give me your thoughts, give me your comments down below, as well make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, digital console, and controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100. You guys go get free stock and free money. And same with that Coinbase too as well. Link down below, and give me all your thoughts and comments down below too as well. And I'll see you guys all throughout the rest of today for a bunch of brand new videos. Love you guys.